Heavy. Hey, Linmitches. My apologies there. Oof. Let's see. There we go. No, no. Testing, testing. There we go. Why is the mic so loud? My apologies on that. I think my partner may have adjusted the grain. Oof. So sorry for that there. Can you hear me better now? I had intended to go on mute, but apparently I did not. Here we go, and... So, this is the mini I'm going to be repainting today. Yeah, I don't know why that was so loud. Let's see here, let me take a look. I think that's why. Alright, cool. Oh, no, that's still peaking. Oh, better? Yep, it's okay. Excellent. Bonsoir, Will. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. All right, so I'm going to be repainting this. So this is a mini I did about 2 years ago now. Obviously, we can see that it's could use it. I could probably do a better job of it now if you're familiar with some of my more recent paintings. So, without much further ado, let's get started here. So, one thing that I can see already early on is that when I painted this metal, it looks better on the camera than it does actually in real life. I didn't base it in black first, so what I'm going to do here, and I was using an army painter paint. Bazinga Winga, hello, how are you? Good afternoon. Just gonna get a glass of water here. There we go, much better. Hello, hello. Oh, my Lule, hello, good evening to you. So, we are just gonna be doing a repaint of an old mini that I started 2 years ago. In the Discord, I put in some photos last night of what it looked like when I first got it out of the box. The default paint job's not the greatest, but this mini actually, you can get this exact sculpt as a oh, my throat. You can get it as an unpainted mini from the Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures line now. So, this is something that everyone can get now. Beforehand, you could only get it if you got, I think it's Monster Menagerie 3 out of a blind box. So I was pretty happy when I got it. But, man, the color scheme was just not great. So right now, I'm just going to go over all the metal in black, because when you're using true metallic metals, a black undercoat makes it more reflective because of how light behaves. But how is everyone doing today? It's so nice to see all of you. Ah, my goodness. Yeah, it's been a while since I feel like I've been on stream. I did a secret stream on my Discord server to try and make up for a little bit. Mylule got to hang out with me for a little bit. Space Bear came out. You should be writing a paper. Are you doing schoolwork right now, Limages? I remember you were mentioning that you're not at home. So are you like in university attending right now? school, university. Oh, good stuff, good stuff. Maybe not the most thrilling, but an education is always good. Although maybe not always the funnest. So I guess your university isn't doing online courses right now? It sounds like you're attending in person. Lack of attention distract me. You are not at home because of reasons. Oh, no, that's understandable. That's fair. Don't need to go into the details. Well, if it's of any interest or possibility, I will let you know I actually had you as my secret Santa. I was checking the tracking information and I did see that your gift was received. So, see if you can get someone at home to mail you or forward your parcel to you. Because I sent you something, and it was not a card. No, and I can totally understand that. Sometimes home can be really... Growing up, it was like that for me. Home was not my favorite place to be. And hello there, Dungeon Journeyman. Nice to see you. I will not tell you what it is, but I will tell you it's not a card. It's a little bit more than a card, which was part of the reason why it was a little late. I wanted to get you something nice, so... Ooh, loud traffic. It's something small, don't worry. It's not like it's something massive or expensive per se, but I can't draw, so I got you a little something. If you want, I can send you a photo of it on Discord. Yeah. All truth, kind of running away from home. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. More so specifically that I'm sorry to hear that how things are at home right now is, unfortunate enough that you can't that you feel the need to. Because I mean, you should be able to feel safety in your own home. So I'm sorry to hear that things are like that for you right now. But you know what? If you feel safer and more comfortable with your current situation than you do at home, that's more than enough of a reason. Have to go home due to this Sunday anyways. Okay, well, you know what? I mean, you'll get a chance to see what you got. Provided that, you know, your parcel's in one piece. I don't know what the situation's like at home, so I just hope the best for you, okay? Oh, that's good. You gotta be somewhere you feel safe. You gotta be somewhere you feel safe. I moved out at 18. So I moved out at a very young age. Oh, I'm glad. Hopefully you like it. Better job on it, but there's the time crunch, and yeah. So, nonetheless, I hope you like it. Although I saw your minis, man. Lynn, your miniatures, you are a remarkable painter. You're definitely a lot better than I was when I painted this. And you can actually, so talking about what the original color palette for this was, let's see here. I'll have to go into here. I'm just gonna do this here. So you can actually, right here on the thumb, you can see what the original colors were. It's just this like muted blue. It was not the coolest looking color they could have done, I felt. Let's see, you know what, I feel like the colors in general are a bit cool. There we go, that's much better looking. No way, no. I think you are a great mini painter. I think you do a phenomenal job. Yeah, I know sometimes it's a little hard to take a compliment. I know I struggle with it. And Dungeon Journeyman, I saw you in there. What are you working on now? It looks like your owlbear was all finished up. Unless you're just doing some final touch-ups on the base there. So we're just going to go over all. Because, again, metal it turns out a lot better if you paint it with black first. This mini is going to look a lot worse before it looks better. Crotch cam. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Yeah, just finishing up the base. Also started a Wizkids Hill Giant for a Discord painting competition. Oh, that sounds awesome. That sounds really cool. I like that. Although I will say the Hill Giant from Wizkids is probably their least interesting giant that they've got. The Stone Giant's not too exciting either. The Frost Giant is a really cool one, but it's got some weird things going on it. The Storm Giant is super dope. The Cloud Giant is really exciting too. Does everyone have to paint the Hill Giant, or is the Hill Giant the one that you went with? You love the Hill Giant. Well, you know what? Let me refresh myself on which the Hill Giant looks like. Maybe I'm thinking of a different Hill Giant miniature. So I have one here at home, but it might not be the unpainted one. Wizkids Hill Giant. Oh, yeah. It's the guy with the club and the giant backpack. And he's got a bunch of leather things. Okay, yeah, no, that one's much more interesting than the Hill Giant I have. I think I have the booster hill giant. Man, this thing is this like filled with glue? I feel like this this brush got glued up because only the front bristles are working well. Let's see if I can break it up a little bit. Oh, there we go. Got a crack out of it. I had to be a Wizkid unpainted mini, and you picked the hill giant. Well, snap. Which Discord server was that in? Because that sounds really fun. And is it too late to join? Because I just finished up my fire giant, and I'm really happy with how that looks. And if I can enter it into a competition, I will. Yeah, I'm going to try to learn lean into the hillbilliness. Yep, no, they definitely have that aesthetic to them. A sunburnt neck and shoulders. Oh, that sounds really cool. I love it when people add that extra bit of character to their mini. Okay. Okay, cool. So I am seeing some of the paint coming out of this. Oh, you did something for fun. What did you do? Is it a rock on his back? I thought it was a backpack. I need voters, though. Voters for what? Kefa Paint Studios Discord. If you already painted it, it's too late. You have to show the unpainted model first. I have photos of the model when it was unpainted, but I could do that. I could start fresh. What's the deadline for it? Yep, I took a lot of pictures of it unpainted. A lot of progress pictures of the hair. And the skin. Yeah. I'm that person that takes like 1 million progress pics. Made an instructable called coding a constant of solid width. Interesting, interesting. That's right, because you're into programming and 3D modeling, right, Images? Valentine's Day for the finish. I just don't know if there's a joining deadline. I already joined. Okay, cool. Well, you know what? If you could send me an invite on Discord, feel free to send me that. I'll inquire. I would love to join in something like that. I don't think I've actually joined a painting competition before. Hi, Gannon. Hi, Gannon. Hi! Hello, kitty. Alright, so we're just going to go over all of this here. Heck. I went over the black. Meow, meow, meow. Wanted to get a new 3D printer? Yeah. 3D printers are awesome. Hi, Gannon. Hello, baby. Are you being really cutesy? Hi. Hi. Got my little fuzzy friend here. Hello. Hi. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't, but the prize is more Wizkids unpainted minis. Hey, can always get more minis. I quite like the Wizkids unpainted minis personally. Meow. Meow. Oh, here. I'll set. No. You're all good, Images. You're all good. No. Here. Images, you're fine. Let me fix that for you. I just have that so that, like, bots get blocked out and stuff. So here we go. Regulars, add, and then here. There you go. You can add whatever links you want now. No worries. Yeah, you're cool, Images. So yeah, what I'm doing right now is I'm just going over with some brush-on primer. Just want... we're just going fast and dirty on this. Yeah. Let's see, I probably want to do this up a little bit too. So worried about, because I'm just going to go over that with a darker purple. I really like purple skinned storm giants. I feel like the purple helps differentiate them more from frost giants. I'm kind of tempted, once I'm finished painting this, to make it look like he's like ankle deep in like ocean water. Really give that storm giant feel. Because they're really weird. They're like aquatic giants, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. But at the same time, they're also like sky giants. Sup, dyslexic lemons? Yeah, sorry, man. I was taking a few days off. I was not feeling well, so. But got that all sorted out. One day it was just bad allergies. The other day was too much greasy food. You know how it can be. See, I don't feel like that's actually like in the mini they painted that black to make it look like that's not his leg, but it just looks like leg to me. Oh no, it's got a ridge. Okay, it's part of his boots. How you doing, man? Though. Ah. Flying giants, yeah. I can't remember if these guys can fly. I know the cloud giants can fly, but I feel like the storm giants could fly too. Maybe I'm making that up. Can't remember. Yeah, no, things have just been, you know. I mean, still a pandemic. It's a new year, but still a pandemic. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but we're not out of the storm yet. So, you know, gotta take things day by day. Gotta be safe. Gotta do all this stuff, you know. Oh, fee fi fo fum, my boot is made of whipped cream. Oh, jeez. Yeah, no, when I brush on the primer, it looks weird. Brushing on primer totally looks weird. But we're just doing that, and then this guy's gonna look dope, hopefully. It's at least going to look better than my paint job from 2 years ago, so. This was not the Nolzer's Unpainted Mini. This was actually the Wizkids Booster Box pre-painted minis. And it looked like garbage. So I painted on top of it and made it just a little more lively. I was making mention earlier that there's an image of what it originally looked like. Actually, you know what? Here we go. Kind of in a meeting, but I'll listen. No, totally fair. Here, actually, let me pull this up. So I'm just going to go in like this here. Yeah, they can be really bad sometimes. I appreciate the availability of pre-painted minis existing, but they're not great. So we're going to go here. Cool. So I'm going to close that there. So this is the color scheme I want to use because I really like this. I live in Canada. Oh, that would be super sweet of you, Images. You don't need to do that. But I live out in Vancouver. If you want to send me something, I can send you my address, and heck, I'll paint anything. I am not picky. So this is what the Mini originally. I want to set up some kind of shop, and oh yeah, you know what, if you're wanting to set up a shop and you're wanting to do your own minis, please, absolutely, don't hesitate to mail me something. I'll paint it on stream, and I'll give you the credit of, you know, like, make sure that people know that your shop exists. I'm planning on painting some of Malleus's minis on stream, but his stuff is a lot smaller than what I usually do. Because I usually like big stuff, but I found out that this camera is perfectly capable of doing regular size miniatures as well. I just have to adjust the settings. So yeah, if you want to do that, I'm totally down. I'm totally down with giving you some screen time. But yeah, so this was the the original paint scheme on this. Like, this is... Do you see how flat this is? Like, flat is the best word I can use for this. So I you know, I can't say that this looks great, but it looks better. So, but what I'm wanting to do is, this is the color palette I want to use. I absolutely I absolutely love these purples. Like, I think she looks so cool. So we're gonna try and do something like that. So, you know what, here, I'll just do that, and we'll just go like that. So I think she looks cool. We'll keep her on screen. I can smell my neighbor's cooking. It smells tasty. Yeah, actually, now I think about it, once you get my package, you're going to know what my address is anyways. Because it's going to be the return address. Except my writing is absolutely terrible, so it's best if I just send you the address myself. Because your handwriting is going to be better than mine, I assure you. I rely very heavily on computers and keyboards, and I've lost all ability to write by hand despite the fact that I can paint. We're just gonna do that. So, which I find humorous, like, if I'm going to be honest. The idea that I can paint and I can hold a brush and I can do a steady hand, but I can't write, it's just funny, I think. Alright, so we're going to do this differently, because I really like the shoulder pads that she has. And I like the idea that it's like a gold trim on black. So we're just going to do that. I'm going to do this here. I'm going to do this here. Cool. All right. Have you ever painted a Keeper of Secrets? Keeper of Secrets. That is a very familiar title. Keeper of Secrets. Oh, from like Warhammer? So Warhammer is what got me into miniature painting, but I haven't painted Warhammer figures, probably for 5 years. But that Painter of Secrets looks cool. I actually, when I painted Tyranids. Tyranids were my friends. But these days, when I look at Warhammer minis, I do look at Chaos. I look at Chaos quite a bit. Chaos just has some cool miniatures. Although I'm much more interested in painting Khorne and Nurgle, personally. Just because I like painting gross things. But I mean, I paint all sorts of things. Like, there's no consistency in what I paint. I am all over the board. You know what? I'm gonna have to actually go over that scale mail with some primer, because all the other things I painted layers and layers and layers of paint on. And by the way, if you're ever wanting to paint one of the, or repaint any of the Wizkids pre-painted minis, I cannot advise strongly enough, prime them. The paint that they use is not an acrylic paint. They use something that is more akin to a chemical reaction that actually bonds to the plastic. So if you try painting over top of it with acrylic, the paint pools up and it doesn't want to adhere to the miniature. It's very bizarre. Man, you guys aren't even getting to see what I'm doing here. There we go. Hey, Jarrett, how's it going? Yeah, no worries. Lurk, enjoy, be jolly. Happy New Year's. I'm just repainting a mini that I did 2 years ago. I'm finishing up my Fire Giant, which I also started at least a year ago. And you know, I just really wanted to I wanted to take something that I had started and just make it look better. I like the idea of trying to repaint some of my old minis, kind of like it's kind of like declaring a challenge against myself and seeing how much better can I do it. Like let's I have photos that show my growth, but let's prove my growth, you know? Ah, yes, I was going to, before that primer dries up, just gloopy gloop gloop. There we go. It's a little thick. I'm just going to get it all over everything. And then we'll wipe off the excess. Oh, you uploaded a new mini on Instagram. I'll have to check it out. Did you post in my a link in my, what do you call it, the finished minis channel? I would love to see it there, and I'm sure others would love to see your work too. Alright, so today, not yet. You'll do it now. Oh, exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Alright, so we don't want to do it too excessively, so we're just going to wipe off the brush. And then just, with my semi-damp brush, just go over here. So everything that's a little too excessive in the pooling, I'm just going to clean that up. So I was doing that. Now I'm going to, there we go. That's right, so I'm going to just boop these, make sure I'm actually focused in the camera. Try not to be too much of a noob, you know. I'm going to do these cool decorative gold bits, because I mean, storm giants are supposed to be head honchos of the gianting community. You know, they organize all the cool stuff. They're like the cool boss. I'm noticing there's a pretty ugly seam line I didn't take care of. That's pretty harsh. Let's scrape that off and reprime over top of it. Because I am a collective chaotic mess, and that's okay. It's a very interesting seam. It splits. Alright, so knife off to the side. Reprime that black plastic there. I love the stream, so calm. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I have had a couple of friends tell me they have fallen asleep to my streams, and I take that as the highest of compliments. I'm not bothered by that at all. Because you know what? I want this to be a place where we can unwind, feel comfortable and safe, you know. That is 100% my intention. Let's take a look at that link you got there. Finished mini. Oh, the Alpine Watchdog. That is so cute. That's a Dungeons and Doggies, right? I love how you created a frame using a magic card. Oh, that's wonderful. I love that. That's such a clever way of doing that. I am seeing that my brush here is turning a little dark. I'm just going to see if I can get some of the excess black paint out of there. There we go. So we are going to, as we described earlier, we're going to go over the chainmail with black, or not chainmail, scale mail. Very soft looking scale mail, kind of like fish scales. So, for those who play D&D, or maybe even those who don't play D&D, I personally, I really like giants conceptually. I really like a lot of the giant lore. It's a bit of a mishmash between Greek and Norse mythology, which I thought was, the way they did it and they applied it, I thought it was kind of cool. Mechanic-wise, in game design, I find giants are pretty lackluster in 5th edition. Because they're not that different from someone who just has a really high strength. Like, it's... There's very little to give the implication of that size difference, right? Like, because a giant is a huge size. It's not medium, it's not large, it's massive. So I came up with a collection of optional rules for running huge monsters. In particularly, it's intended for giants, but there's no reason you can't apply it to anything that has a huge size. And I showed them to people, tested them out, got some feedback. They definitely make giants a lot tougher, because I was talking with my friend Jess Jackdaw, if anyone's familiar with him on YouTube or Twitter. And I was talking with him about it, and he had just finished like a adventure or a session where he was fighting against hill giants, and he's like, man, it was just such a cakewalk. Like, it was really disappointing. There was no satisfaction in it because it didn't feel difficult. So like, some of the things I made changes to were like, if a giant hits you, you're forced back like a number of feet equal to the giant's strength modifier, or not modifier, the modifier. So like a hill giant, every time it does a melee attack against you, like just because of that massive size difference, the hit alone pushes you back 5 feet. There's no save, anything like that. Like, it's just because, again, like, for size comparison, hello Warlock's Quill, do you have that on my server, those rules? I don't actually, but if anyone is interested in them, I can put them up. But yeah, so, because I mean, like, this is a regular medium-sized creature, this is a giant. Like, I mean, even if it was this giant, which is noticeably smaller, him hitting this guy, it's a massive difference, right? Like, there's got to be that force, that idea that their mere size gives them control of where units are placed on the board. Another option I put in is that, and this is for people who want giants to be like lethal encounters, like for those who love like Attack on Titan. I made it so that if a giant hits you, every melee or every hit, whether it's melee or if it's a ranged attack like them throwing a boulder at you, the player who, or the target that gets hit, if they are medium or smaller, they have to roll on a brutal injury table. So they roll a d20, and then the DM tells them what the result means. So like there's a chance that it does high damage, and like that's it. But like others were like, yeah, no, the player loses an eye, or it breaks their ribs. And like it applies like these horrifying status effects. But like that was kind of it. Like my philosophy as a dungeon master is that the fun comes from overcoming challenges. And if there is no challenge, there is no satisfaction, sense of achievement. Ergo, there's no fun. And I feel like with giants, because like if you look at mythology, giants are a big deal. Giants are emissaries or enemies of deities. Like if you look in Greek mythology, giants straight up war against the gods. Like they're that powerful. In D&D, the Forgotten Realms, for those who follow the official lore and the likes, the giants warred against dragons. But like if you look at the stat blocks, like it makes it pretty clear that a giant at best might be able to only deal with a young dragon, and anything bigger is going to take multiple dragons and so forth and so forth. And it's like, I don't know, man, like it doesn't quite the critical injury. Like, so I ran an encounter with these rules against my friends, and I gave them a heads up. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be doing something that's a little experimental, and it's really dangerous, but you guys encounter these two giants. Let's go. And two of my players both lost an eye each, and I mean, they were spellcasters, so it didn't really matter too much. I didn't give them disadvantage or anything, but like there were two characters in the party who both had only one eye. They later found a magic item that basically just replaces an eye, because you can do that, but there was only one of them, so they had to decide who gets it. Another player straight up lost his foot. A giant rock was thrown at him, and he was able to get out of the way, so he himself wasn't crushed, but his foot got caught, and it was just turned into paste, right? Yeah, exactly. So I did things like that. There's an optional rule that they can, if they grapple a player, as a bonus action, they can toss them, and it's like a hill giant can toss a player something like 50 feet, I think is what I did, or maybe it was that they can toss them 25 feet, because again, like if you take 5 players and you throw them against a giant, that giant's going down. It's not going to last very long. Like by using the vanilla rules of the game, like, and if you think about that, like 5, 6 level 1 players, one of them might pass away, but like if you take like level 1 dirt farming players, they'll defeat that giant. That giant stands no chance. Like a hill giant, and I just find that kind of immersion breaking, you know. If a player is tossed 25 feet, do I use the rules for damage? I play it depending on what they're going against. So like if they're thrown against a brick building, yeah, they're going to take the fall damage, which I think is only for 25 feet is like 2d6, because it's like 1d6 for every 10 feet, I think. But if like they're just thrown straight forward and they just toss and tumble in the dirt, nah, they're fine. Because the goal there is that player now has to use a full turn of movement. Like they are no longer present for the purposes of like flanking, like any of that stuff. But they are what do you call it? What is it when they're knocked down? Prone. They're prone. So they're going to have to use half of their movement just to get up. And I think that's more than enough of a punishment. Because that means that person's just... Like, if they use their action to dash, they're there, but they don't get to make attacks. Like, the idea is just that... my goal was, how do I make giants more dangerous without just doing something like extra damage, extra health, that stuff? Like, how do I give them more of a presence, and how do I make them able to defend themselves better? And for defense, it made sense to give them control of the board. They have control of the environment because they take up the most space. Another option I did was an attack, which just punts the players. So they just kick them. That was fun. I liked that. They kick them and they go flying like a soccer ball. I did this quite a while ago, so I'll have to take a look at the exact rules that I sent. But I don't mind sharing them in the Discord. Yeah, I can throw them in the RPG lobby. I actually did an interview for a podcast, but the episode never got aired. And we just talked about giants the whole time. That was very exciting, so... You'll probably hear a little bit more about that with my buddy Mikey this Saturday. We'll be talking about giants some more, but it'll he has a different podcast. He has a podcast called the Creature Club Podcast, where they talk about monsters. They have not yet reached giants. I keep pestering him, be like, hey, can I come for your giants episode? I want to talk about giants. I want to make them better than just NPCs with high strength. For example, did you know only the fire giant using the alternative rules in Storm King's Thunder and in Volo's Guide to Monsters, only the fire giant has Siege Monster? I think that's silly. Why does only the fire giant have Siege Monster? Why don't all of the giants have Siege Monster? Like, I could understand if they made it so that the fire giants do triple damage. That would be really cool. Like, your buildings, your catapults, just like one hit from a fire giant, bam, that catapult's gone. I mean, like, if you look at this guy's sword, that just makes sense. I kind of want a giant's soccer ball, oh, dude. Soccer game with running angry balls. Yeah, no, exactly. It's really fun, right? Yeah, just punt them. Just like, yeah, I attack you, and like if there's a fire giant, it's got 2 attacks or something like that. I can't remember how many giant or attacks that they have, and it's being, flanked. Yeah, he just he kicks one of those players and they fly 30 feet. They take the kick damage, they take the fall damage or whatever. They're prone, and now the fire giant's not being flanked anymore. And if he decides to run, to move in the opposite direction, he only takes 1 attack of opportunity instead of 2. and storm giants should be really clever, not just strong. Yep. Yep. Nope. I think the storm giants and cloud giants have a bit more stuff to make them cool. What gets me is that, and I understand that hill giants are kind of supposed to just be like the vanilla, just simple they are. And I mean, what is it? The storm giant is like immune to thunder and lightning damage. The fire giant is immune to frost. Fire is immune to fire. But then there's like the stone giant and the hill giant, and they got nothing. I'm just like, can't we just make this like why can't the stone giant be like resistant to non-magical like bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing? Like if he's a stone giant, or she, whichever, why not? I don't know. I think so. And the thing is, like, I looked through previous editions of the monster manual, and I find that the giants, in the exception of 3rd edition, 3rd and 4th actually had the most interesting giants. 1st, 2nd, 5th, they're all the same. They're big, they have high stats, and they can throw rocks. That is all there is. And stone giants can catch rocks, which is a really weird ability to have. Cause like I don't know, like how many games is a DM going to include where giants are fighting each other? Because giants are literally the only creatures that I can recall that throw rocks. Stone catching. Hey, Mini Grinder, how's it going? Yeah, I thought it was just like, this seems like a silly thing to include. And I think that is also from like the 2nd or 1st edition of the game. I don't know. I think with how cool and prominent giants are in mythology, they deserve a little better than that. Because like if you look at almost any culture, just about any culture, they're gonna have some form of dragon and some form of giant. Like if you look at the French, they have Gog and Magog, who were like bringers of the apocalypse and like ate people and destroyed walls. Like they were very like Attack on Titan giants. If you look at, I think it's, I can't remember the culture. I want to say it was somewhere in. Oh man, I don't even want to try and risk getting it wrong. But they had a giant that had burning teeth, and when they killed it, they took its teeth, and that was in that that culture's mythology. That was how they gained fire. So they're like that's prominent stuff. Like, let's not even get started on the significance of giants in Norse and Greek mythology. They're done dirty, I tell ya. Campaign setting idea. Giants are suddenly running... Oof. Oof, the exposure. Feel free to tell me when the exposure is too high. There we go. Running hammock in the region, destroying mountains, punting towns, emptying lakes. Turns out it's just giants. Or the Giant Olympics. And a couple weeks later it's all over. That's hilarious. I like that. Yeah, there's that one tale of what is it? A giant that drank, or was it? It drank a lake or something like that. And like a person was tricking it to do these because it had caused havoc inside the village. I can't remember all the details. All I know is that Disney did a little short film about it, covering it, except surprise, surprise, it's Mickey Mouse. Or maybe it was they did a book and not a short film. I can't remember. And they like it had placed a big boulder somewhere, and the character was trying to do a feat of strength, and like he tried to convince him, I want you to crush that boulder and squeeze the water out of it. And he pulls out an orange and he squeezes the orange and juice comes out of it. He's like, see, I'm so strong I can get water out of boulders. Can you do that? And the giant ends up squeezing the boulder, crushing it, but obviously no water comes out of it. And the idea is just like, you know, and I think that tale is exactly where the idea that hill giants, or like some giants, are stupid comes from, and that's why hill giants have low intelligence. I think it's like an English tale, maybe French. Oh, it was a ball of cheese. That's what it was. Yes, thank you. See, you know exactly the tale I'm talking about. Do you remember what that story was? Mini Grinder? Mickey Mouse storybook cartoon, yeah. Yeah, that one, I know that one's based off of a actual fairy tale. I can't remember what the origin of it is. Yeah, I had that storybook as a kid. I can't remember for the life of me what it was called though. Oh, is it originally a Grimm's Brothers Grimm? I mean, that would make sense. It's sometimes difficult to find popular fairy tales that weren't originally Brothers Grimm tales. Alright, so for those who remembered what this looked like beforehand, so we can see here, this was kind of shiny, but when I go over this, let's bring that up a little bit more. This is going to look just a lot better. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when our stories are old and retold. They End up with a lot of versions, some of which more happy endings than others. So you can see here, this is much more reflective and metal looking. It's probably going to need a second coat. But that first one I did was more painted looking. And what I'm going to do here too is to really make this metal sword pop. Something I've gotten really a lot of enjoyment out of is applying inks to certain areas to create depths and shadows. Let's see, does that try? Yeah. Fun fact, actually, about the the Little Mermaid. So, the Little Mermaid, her father is named King Triton, and I think it's in Greek, maybe Roman. Triton is actually the name of one of Poseidon's sons. So, with that logic in mind, and given that we know that the Disney stories are relatively same universe, and we know that Hercules is very much in the Disney tales, Ariel and Hercules are related. What? Because she would be the great... Oh, she's the granddaughter of Poseidon, and so that would make her the great niece, I think, of Zeus. Making... What would that make her and Hercules, whose name is actually Heracles in mythology, for those who were not aware. Hercules is the English adaptation / Heracles is too hard for us to try and pronunciate. Alright, so that looks much more just better. Already an improvement. And for anyone who's wondering why I end up bringing up proper pronunciations, it's mostly just that I feel that we live in an age of the internet where, like, we have all of these resources available. I mean, there's not much reason for us to continue with our incorrect, like, names that we assign things, you know? If that makes any sense for everyone. Meeting is over. Get some hype in the chat. Hey, buddy. Glad to hear the meeting's all finished. Just applying some of the metallic paint over the blacks now, making getting things to look a lot nicer. You can see this metal is, in my opinion, it looks much better than the first time I did the metallics. This is just from both using a different brand as well as putting the metallics over black instead of just painting them over top of whatever. Because you'll get more reflectivity out of a metallic paint if you paint it on top of black. Yeah. And it's just with using Vallejo. So, and similarly, like how I did with the fighter giant, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply inks to selective areas to try and get some more, you know, this kind of dynamicness out of these metallics. So let's see here. Do I have a example of what that looked like? You can kind of see over here. Yep, exactly. The Vallejo metallics, well, Vallejo even advises, like, hey, if you're going to use your metals, like, always do them over top of black. You'll really be a lot happier with the results if you do. And I find that if you don't stop there, and you also apply a black ink underneath the in the recesses to deepen the shadows, it looks even better. That is my experience personally. So for all of these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through every scale, and I'm just going to line the bottom with a little bit of black ink. And that's going to really just make it look real nice. Oof, no. Not Nuln Oil. Nuln Oil is a wash. So the reason why I specify black ink is because ink is more transparent than washes. Hey, outsider, how's it going? Nice to see you, bud. Dunk it in Nuln Oil. Pretty sure you're just trolling me. Rascal. Good. Yeah, I just said That. Gonna give me a heart attack, you know? Say no to known. I have very few GW products in this household. Very few. Not gonna say I don't have none. They have some products I'm willing to bite the bullet for. But oh man, I just use like I use Armory Paint or Dark Wash. It's so much more affordable and it does the exact same thing. Sacrilege, I know. Oof. On your terrain? Oh man, that's pricey. I have homemade washes for terrain. Got a big old fat thing. Yep, the strong wash is nice. Yeah, I like the strong wash. The light wash doesn't really do enough, but it's nice if you need a diluted strong wash. Honestly, though, I have rarely been using washes these days. The TMM that I'm using, I am using Vallejo, and I actually don't throw washes on my TMMs. Instead, I apply selective layers of ink now to create depths and shadows. Yeah. Washes are for the weak. Washes are a great thing for starters. For people starting out, or if you're just wanting to like speed paint, I think washes have their use. But in the ways that I am trying to improve my painting, I don't really use them anymore. And if I do, it's on very rare occasions. Good boy! Oh, jeez. Drew's come to bring chaos and pandemonium into the stream. My agent of entropy has arrived. How you doing today, Drew? You working today? Just on break? Alright. Can't compete with the chaos in DC. Oh man, DC is banned from this stream. I presume we're talking about the States. DC. Alright. So, and then, yeah, let's do that there. I was at work, but it was bullshit, so I called it ordered. Oh! I swore. Whoopsies. Hope no kids were watching. Yeah, no. I tag the stream as family friendly, right? So I put in a lot of effort to make sure that I don't curse. Predators stormed the Capitol building, shots fired inside. Whoa! That I did not hear about. Jeez. That's... Wow. Okay. Well, that's an exciting day. My God. I'm at a loss of words for that. That's... I think wild is exactly the... Yeah, wow. Hey, Mini Grinder, it's all good. I'm just finding out about the storm that is going on in the States. My goodness. So there's my little ray of sunshine off to watch the news coverage. Have fun. Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Everything is good. Yeah, no. I'm all right. You know, happy painting. We're gonna paint some happy things. That's what we're gonna do. Everything's good. All right. Let's see. Well, I want to make these leather, so I'm gonna do some leather colors on here. Let's see here. Beastie Brown might not be a terrible start, but it's a little bright. I feel like heavy sienna would actually probably be better for that. Yeah, we'll go heavy sienna. All right. Well, you know what? As always, anyone who's a little stressed out by recent news and events, welcome to hang in here and distract yourselves from it. And yep, nope, I am not surprised to hear that. Jeez. And this can be your little happy, safe place. My goodness. Oh, I looked on radar. Yep. Man. I am just so... I don't even know where to begin. So what other exciting news is in people's lives right now? Is there anything happy going on? You got any new minis that you recently made a mini grinder? I've been keeping progress up on that bust that you've been painting up. That looked really nice. Had a great return stream. Oh, that's nice. Something to start off the year for 2021? Well, that's nice. I'm always happy to hear stuff like that. Starting a sculpting stream. Oh, 3D, right? Do you use Blender or do you use, what is it called? Yeah, I use Blender. Alright, cool stuff. What's the other one? ZBrush, that's it. ZBrush, there we go, thank you. Starting a line of 54mm minis based on members of the hobby community. That's right, I remember you saying that you were going to be doing that. That's super exciting. Who are you going to start off with? Going to be doing Brent from Goobertown Hobbies. Going to be doing... who else? There's so many people. There's Leif from Devs and Dice. What's his name? From eBay Miniature Rescue. It's him as well. Oh, there's Brush for Hire. Obviously, there's Wapelius, but I don't know if anyone knows what Wapelius looks like. Oh, gonna be starting off with Miniocalypse, so that's sweet. Miniocalypse has been supportive of so many different people. Jamie is a wonderful member of the community. Casey! Thank you, Casey from eBay Miniature Rescues. Thank you very much, Images. Used to send him minis on the regular. No way! Oh, that's cool. I don't know Casey personally, but he seems like quite the sweetheart. It's a good bean, from what I can tell. Of 1 mini a month and maybe 1 creature. Oh, that's so exciting. I really liked your Mimikam. Man, that was so cool. Once I get a 3D printer, which goodness knows how long that's going to be, I'd love to get a bunch of your things painted. Only challenges, like there's a guy I know that has a in town that has a mini paint or resin printer, and like he drops things off if I order them. Like he's the one who printed the bear for me. I still gotta pay him, and it's not always cheap, so it ends up being a bit more cost. And of course there's the labor, but I have to watch my spending. You do so many free giveaways, Mini Grinder. You do so many. I hope they give you the attention that you deserve, because you've got a wonderful stream. I'd attend more of them if I had the time. There's so many people that I want to be watching streams of, and the thing is, like, if I... It really sucks, right? Because there's so many incredible people, and I want to give all of them my support. But if I were to attend all the streams that I want to, I'd probably end up not being able to actually do my job. Or, you know, be able to spend quality time with my partner. It's really rough. Because I always see that you go on, but I'm almost never able to actually join and attend. And I always feel bad about it, because you're always coming in and dropping by here, you know? SDLs are just zeros and ones. It's just a time investment. No, that's fair. That's totally understandable. Yep. Here, let me just close the window there. Hope everything's okay. Well, I mean, if the siren's on, things aren't okay, but hope things aren't the worst. You know? Also, resin prints are cheap. So give away more of those now that you have a printer. Oh, you've got a printer! Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, the purchasing of a printer, it's pretty easy. I mean, I want to get an Elegoo Mars Pro. Only challenge is I don't really have the space around the house to do it, and I don't really have like I'll have to get a little bit of extra equipment, because I personally have pretty bad reactions to resin. I start developing little red welts on my fingers if I'm not careful. Or, not welts. They're little red bumps. So I'm very sensitive to resin, so I would have to make sure that I've got a nice ventilation system. Gloves are a must. Oh, absolutely. No doubt there. It does pump out the fumes. Yeah, I really like the Elegoo Mars Pro because of that. the fact that it's got the built-in carbon filter for it, I love that. I just want to be, you know, have mine in the attic for your old studio. Exactly. See, and that's kind of the thing. We're just in a small apartment, so like, even because it does pump out the things, it does have its carbon filter. But I just want to make sure that, like, when I open it up, the fumes that are released from the opening and like that kind of stuff, like, those are taken care of. I saw someone was doing a measurement of the, like, they were actually measuring the number of chemicals and fumes and stuff that were being released during printing and like during the stages. And that little carbon filter it has in it does a lot of work. Elegoo limited edition is in the shed. Nice. Yeah, it still smells. Yeah, exactly. The smells aren't so much what I'm worried about. I just want to, like, given like my sensitivity to resin, like even cured resin is what I mean. Like, for example, I like, so to give an example, I react simply to Mod Podge. Mod Podge has a small amount of resin in it. Most people don't react to it, but Mod Podge ends up causing like tiny blisters on my hands. Just to give an example of that. So I just want to make sure that I'm careful. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, it was taking me a long time to realize, like, what's going on here? Like, why is it that, because I started doing some terrain, and, you know, I started using the black magic craft technique of black paint and Mod Podge, and my fingers started, like, getting welts on them, or welts, blisters, hives. That's the word, hives. So, and I was like, what's going on here? And it took me a while to figure out that it was the Mod Podge that was doing it. And I couldn't figure out what it was or why that was happening. And so I ended up getting some 3D printed minis in the mail. And they were using a black resin, and it wasn't 100% fully cured. And so when I was handling those, I started getting those blisters again. And I was like, okay, so I know Mod Podge has resin in it. So what I'm reacting to is the resin. And like, once it's cured, it's fine. But I was, there was a lot of like realizations for me, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to stop the hobby, because the hobby is, frankly, given the current world situation, all that's really keeping me sane. But I just have to make sure that I'm like extremely precautious. So yeah. Love how that bear turned out, though. That bear turned out great. I was very happy with that. Probably do a few things differently than I did now, but that's okay. Yeah. Well, you know, there's nothing like being a little too precautious. So my consideration is that if I was going to do it inside of the apartment, I'd want to get a an additional filtration system. And then if I could do that, then that's fine. But that takes up a lot of space. So it's more likely that if we get a new place, we look for something with a garage. And then I can do all my stuff in there. Or an attic. An attic works too. But till then, there are people that have 3D printing services. No, here we go. That's right. Oh man, a garage would be so great. But like having a garage in Vancouver, like, oh my goodness, that's not terribly realistic of me. Maybe in like Surrey. Even having a garage in Burnaby is difficult. Okay, you have yourself a good one there, Mini Grinder. Thanks for dropping in. It was nice getting to chat with you. I hope you have yourself a wonderful day and, you know, stay safe. Alright, so let's look at that reference that I had with the dark skin tones. So the legs have a bit... the legs have some different colors than the arms and face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with this darkest purple here and see what I can do for the skin. So what do I got for dark purples? All sorts of colors here. Hi, Gannon. Hi, buddy. Cute kitty. So I've got a Deep Twilight from MSP Core. How did these colors look? That's a bit too dark on both accounts, but you know, I could probably mix them. I've got my violet liner, which is again a bit too dark. But what I could do, oh goodness, what I could do is I could probably mix some of these with my extra opaque game color. I think I was using like... I most certainly wasn't using extra opaque on here. I was probably using something like Alien Purple from Army Painter. So let's take a look at this color first here, the Deep Twilight. Because this might even be just the color I need. Oh, Gannon. Hello, buddy. Little baby Gannon. Alright, so if it's just a little too dark, but it's great for the legs. Like that is the exact color I'm wanting for the legs. So you know what, I'll start off with that, and then I'll mix some more color into it afterwards. Paint smells great. kidding me? No. Cutting up bits while watching the stream. Extra calming. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Olin-Mitches. The streams keep me calm too. Let's see here. I can probably increase a little bit of the exposure. Yeah, no, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I went with Mellow Minis because I wanted everyone to have a place where they can kind of, you know, just spend some time to mentally recover from their day or the things that are giving them, causing them some stress. So, you know, in the case of a pandemic, the pandemic, but you know, it doesn't have to be just that. We all have our other things that stress us out, so I just want us to have some super chill beats, you know. If there's anything we need to talk about, we can talk about it. That kind of thing, you know? Are you working on your sword again there, Ellen? Hi, Gannon. How you doing, buddy? I totally forgot. It's finished. Yeah, buddy. Oh, that's exciting. I'm glad to hear that. Did you post pics in me or Kay's server of the sword? I can't remember. Or is it on Instagram? I could go take a look. I don't mind. No, what's up, Gannon? Something interesting, you buddy? Never posted it. Cool. Alright, I'll go check there. Got so many cool projects going on there. Let's go take a look at that. In the art share. Ah, that is so cool looking. It's a big gnarly sword, I like it. Oh, what kind of minis are you assembling right now, Limaches? Is it more Warhammer figures? Alright, so that's that there. And so I remember, that's not the violet liner. What paint is that? Is that Deep Twilight that I used? I can't remember. I think it was Deep Twilight. I'm gonna say it was Deep Twilight. Alright, so I've got my heavy violet. And what we're going to do here. Wow, it's already 2:05. Take a big fat glob of that. Mix that in. Oh yeah, Gannon? Let's see. Color I'm looking for. Oh, don't you be a jerk. No. Don't you start with me, buddy. Hey, I know. But you were... Don't abuse the power of the meow, okay? Okay, bud? Don't be a poo head. Just putting together a Blood Bowl team. Did they release like a new new edition of Blood Bowl? I have been seeing so many people painting Blood Bowl, and I'm just wondering if there's like if that's the reason why. I think the concept of Blood Bowl is really cool. I've been seeing so many people assembling and painting Blood Bowl minis. Drew, the Outsider miniatures, he was painting some recently. Who else? Been seeing them on my Instagram feeds a lot. Want a squirrel on a branch. Is that a mini that's available in Blood Bowl? Or you just want a miniature of a squirrel on a branch? You're making your own. Dig it. Hey, if it doesn't exist, create it. And that's right, no one can stop you. That's right, you're unstoppable. That's darn right. It's like Canadian treasure Dana Howell said, purple orcs are the sneaky orcs, because no one has seen them. Or because no one has ever seen a purple orc. God, I love Dana Howell. She is a treasure. No, pardon me. Just throw that base in everyone's face. O? What is O? I probably haven't either. I can't remember when it was that she said that purple orcs are the sneaky orcs because no one's ever seen a purple orc. All I remember is that she has said it, and she has got such a aisle, with just throwing in Garfield jokes or deadpan humor. I love her so much. Gannon, you can relax. I really like her undercoat tutorial. She's definitely upticked her upload schedule since the pandemic. So I remember back then when she was just starting out, is when I first came across her videos. What was it? I think was it a basing video that I first saw of hers? I really can't remember. It's been quite a while. Or maybe it was just her original set for what do you call it? Her original undercoats video. She says some pretty funny things about Canada, too. Like when she makes comments about, what is it? Gray primer is illegal in Canada. It's not. That's her just being funny. Or what else was it? She calls Canadian dollars fun bucks. Because they're money is plastic. So I'm pretty sure the joke that she's getting at. I got purple in his beard. Whoopsies. I'll just have to go for the beard again, that's fine. What we're just doing is we're doing the super dark purple for the purposes of when we apply highlights. It'll look better over top of this dark purple. Fun bucks. Yeah, I know, right? Just little nonsense things. She's so funny. I love her. Or when she's like, and we never strive for perfection because perfection, or the path to perfection is the road to hell. I was like, oh, you're speaking to me, Dana. You're speaking to me. Hi, Gannon. I get it. You're unhappy and you're hungry. And you feel that as soon as you're hungry, that demands feeding time. And that when I'm streaming, if you scream at me enough, that I'll feed you. But the truth is, Gannon, that doesn't work anymore. And now, when you scream at me, I just make you leave the room. What did I just say? Oh, you got an eye booger. Let me get that for you. Let me get your eye booger. Okay. Eye boogers. There you go. You little cutie. Oh, you're fine. No, don't start this with me. I will show you the door. My apologies. I may need to make my child leave the room. I will be right back. Say ta-ta, Gannon. Say ta-ta. Bye, Gannon. Ta-ta, Gannon. Come on. What'd you get? Yep, no. No, yep. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, so. Man, Chris, it really helps if you paint on the camera, or within view of the camera. I'm probably going to wrap things up relatively soon. Getting a bit hungry. You know how that can be. I'm going to have to, and I work today, and I'm going to have to feed the cat, and all those cool things. He's not very happy today. Oh, sad. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be at least going on for at least, at bare minimum, another 10 minutes. Because I want to see if I can finish this in 2 days. So we'll see how well that works out for me. Pretty high ambition. So calming. Aw. Well, thank you. I hope that means I get to see a little bit more of you, Limaches. It's nice having you join in. Let's see here. I'm going to have just a smaller brush. Just a dollar store brush. I'm not above using a dollar store brush. They're cheap and they've got a point. If it holds paint, it's good enough for me. You will sleep then. Oh, that's fair. If you disappear abruptly, I will understand or presume that you have gone to sleep. I often lurk here, actually. Do you? Oh, well, it's nice to have you part of the chat today. Lurkers are always welcome. Don't feel pressured that you have to join in to the chat, but it's nice to know that you're actually here fairly often. That's nice. Actually, fun fact, if you play D&D, and you're welcome to use this idea for your own, in my D&D campaign, I liked the idea that dreams were people's consciousness being carried to another realm, and in that realm, in that dreamland, I made a dream king who is a cloud giant. Like, picture like a big old Santa Claus. Kind of something like that. You felt talkative. Well, that's nice. I'm glad to feel that you feel comfortable enough to do that. I mean, sometimes, not often, but some days the chat can be really busy in here. Like, I'm often surprised sometimes. You know? Alright, so super dark, got a tan. Let's see if I can do at least one layer of highlights. Ding! You don't have Santa Claus here. Do you have something else that plays the role of a Santa? For example, like Sinterklaas? Or Father Christmas? Let's see here. I guess I just gotta use an off-white. I'll have to mix my own purple. I mean, Santa Claus, as we know it here in the West, is rather given like the overall world history. And fun fact, yeah, he's called Sinterklaas and Black Pete. Yeah. I mean, that's who our Santa Claus is largely based from. Which, I mean, is pretty clear with the naming. But, interestingly, the imagery was created by Coca-Cola. That's pretty bright, just a little bit more. Most wonderful. Yep, I still need it a little more lavender than that. Come on, you got this. That's bright. Still not bright enough. Ah, starting to get there. I'm just mixing some paint on the side here. Perfect. Oh yeah, absolutely. No. Our Western, like North America's and the UK's Santa Claus is, I think it's only a couple hundred years old. Let's see here. I'm gonna want to thin this because this is gonna be way too thick otherwise. So when you're painting, if you want to thin your paint and you want to use like glazing, I just use Liquitex matte medium. The paint I'm using right now is extra opaque, so I'm just thinning it down a little bit. So that way the color stays the same, but it's a little less, I don't know, it's more cooperative. Alright, so after going and making him super dark, I'm gonna go immediately back to bringing those colors up. I'm just gonna go over just about everything here. Oh, Ganon, you lovely child, you were not well behaved. Meow, meow, meow. I was recently hearing about on, what is it, Trophy. They did a holiday drawing episode, you know, where they draw different characters from other countries and for their Christmas and stuff. And I found out in France they have she's like a grandmother that comes around, I think, like New Year's, or I think is what it was. and she gives bad kids garlic. But the extra bad kids she takes home with her to feed to her husband, but she's like a good witch. It's a lot of mythology of Christmas characters eating bad children, especially in Europe. Maybe it's trophy, I don't know. I can't remember entirely. I kind of got fixated on the why are there so many European characters who eat children? You know, it's... And then, like, always related with, like, winter. Oh my goodness, Canyon. It's so sad. He revived a cannibal's dinner of 3 kids back to life? What? Man, Europe is wild. It's like with Greek and Roman myths, it's hard to find examples where some deities visit a person and that person does not end up killing one of his own sons to try and feed to the gods. And it's like, I don't know why you thought that was like the best option. Like, why is it with the... No, USA is wild. I mean, have you seen the president? No, that's fair. That's valid. Former president, technically. But yes, no, that is a whole other kind of wild. But point taken. I'm glad that ride is over and done with. Being their next door neighbor. I need some water. There we go. Being their next door neighbor is not easy. because our livelihood depends on them far, far too much. And like Canadians end up usually having to pay almost more attention to American politics than our own a lot of the time. Our ghouls stay in fairy tales? Oh, yeah, nope, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Oh my god, Ganon. You're fine. Please relax. It's a nice purple, thank you. I had to make it. It's kind of like a... doesn't show very well in the model yet. I have to do a lot of layers. Lots of thin layers, lots of thin coats. But on the palette, it kind of looks like Spyro. If you're familiar with Spyro the Dragon. I really like purple. Purple's a nice color. See if I can paint it on my skin to show. Yeah. So just trying to get this just started. Oh my goodness, Ganon. I'm gonna just get him to go away from the door. He is so incessant. Oh wait. Oh my goodness.
Look at her.
And Ganon is giving the other cat a panic attack. No! Get out of here. Quiet. Don't be like that. Okay? Don't be like that. It's not okay to be like that. All right. I am back. And I'm going to try and keep Ganon well behaved so he doesn't make his sister freak out. She started climbing on the TV because of his rah. Alright, so I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to go real selective on a lot of this stuff here. It's all good. Falling asleep it's a good thing. It means you're relaxed. You feel safe and secure. take care of that face. Don't be too loud, Cannon. Try to be nice, okay? Don't worry, you know I'm gonna feed you. You know that I never don't feed you. Oof, that has been great exposure. There you go. No. wasn't too loud. Probably was. Yannin, be nice. There we go. The face is looking a little bit nicer now. It's a little hard to tell with the light. Let's see here. If I go like this, move him in, you can kind of see a little bit of the shadow and depths I'm trying to build up. And you're a spoiled child, Cannon. I feed you in literally like 10 minutes, don't worry. I'm just going to do a little bit more highlights, Cannon, and then it will be food time, so don't you fret, okay? Yeah, you just gotta behave. Don't be like that. You're gonna get fed when it's ready. Relax. Here, give me 1 sec. I think there's possibly a parcel that I need to go get. Unless my partner is doing it. Sounds like she might be doing it. Cannon. Buddy, you're okay. You make it sound like you don't get fed. You do this to me every stream. I know. I know you do this to me every single time I'm streaming. Cannon. You're fine. Please and thank you, buddy. please. Alright. I am pretty happy with how this is turning out.